Namaste viewers, my name is Lakshmi Singh and I'm your host here at the Himali Spiritual Center, your favorite astrology show right here on ITV Gold every Thursday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. live, where you can call into our favorite spiritual guidance person here, Himali ji. Himali,
Namaste,
namaste.
namaste.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm always well when I see you. You know, Himali ji, I've been your host here for about 2 months now. And it's been quite an exciting 2 months with you, learning so much about you, listening to you help people with their problems and their issues, and knowing of personal people who've called you, and you know you're helping them on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, and they're seeing so many results.
Oh my God. Only 2 months, Lakshmi. I feel like I know you more than 2 months.
You know, viewers, I would agree with that. Himali ji and I just met because of the show, but we've become friends. You know, she's like a sister to me, and I'm very happy to
I'm
know
very
that
happy.
you've
I feel like
helped
I've
so many people.
Thank you. I feel like I've known you for many, many years.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, Himali ji, last week we were talking about Pitri Paksh and the importance of fasting, and you know how we can pray for our ancestors, you know, during this time. And Pitri Paksh is still going on.
Yes,
correct?
it is. Today is the 8th day, and a lot of people fast, Lakshmi. They get up in the morning very early and just drink, eat something, and whole day till they don't do the evening puja when the moon comes out. Mm-hmm. They will stay fasting, no drink water, nothing, just fast for their ancestors, so that they can get a position like move to peaceful place, go to heaven, another thing, because Pitri is a place that we're here, we haven't moved up or down. So a lot of people also, when they don't have children, we see in their horoscope they're supposed to have kids, we see there everything is good, doctor says everything is great, but they can't conceive. It's because of ancestral. We say there's a Pitro dosh, ancestral problem. So this time we tell a lot of people, please pray. Pray so that your ancestors can bless you. Because remember, your ancestors in a place that they can pray and Bhagwan will hear them faster.
That's wonderful to know and to listen to what you're saying, because I think a lot of people don't actually know this. Now, Himali ji, I know your center is at 131-14101 Avenue in South Richmond Hill. The phone number there, viewers, is 718-887-2929. If someone needed guidance, if they wanted to know how they can make offerings to their ancestors, can they come to you? Can you help them?
Yes, I do have a lot of phone calls, and a lot of people do come and they ask what they should do for their ancestors. And a lot of people will dream their ancestors now. So a lot of people are calling me and telling me, Himali ji, I feel my father, I feel my husband, I feel my ancestors. They will feel a particular person in their family just passed by. They will dream or they will feel. Yes, they do.
Now, many people may not know, you know, how to carry on this ritual, what prayers to do, and they may think they don't have to do it because maybe their mom didn't do it, or they don't know if their grandparents did it. You know, is it too late for them?
No, it's not. It's never too late. I believe it's never too late to start praying. What you didn't do yesterday doesn't mean you can't do today. You know now, you're much wiser now. We are much intelligent. We have so much resources out there we have that we never had before. So we can't say whatever mistake we were doing for years, we can't correct them now. We can correct them. You can start by one day, the last day, if you do not know the days that your ancestors who died or the family used to do, the last 3 days, any day you pick, you make some food, or you get some green vegetable and you put a clothing, and you get whatever money you want for a panditji. You take it to your local temple or any Indian temple. If the West Indies temple doesn't open, Indian temples are open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Even if it's corona there, they still have a line, people to go. You take your offering and you give it to the panditji. You give your family name, your ancestral name, your grandfather's name, great-grandfather's name, as much as you can go further. You give the name in a piece of paper and ask panditji to pray. That's the most simple way you can do it. And at home, obviously, you will put water and til in a little lotter, and you can offer that to the dar too. It will really help your ancestors.
And this should be done by any certain time?
Especially it's done in the morning time, but if you're somebody, because of your work, you get up and do it in the afternoon, it could be still done. It is good to do all day.
You know, everything is on social media now. Everyone posts everything on social media, where it can be a good thing, but sometimes it could be a bad thing. And the reason why I bring this up is, you know, during this time, and, you know, usually during any fasting times, but specifically during Pitri Paksh, there's always so much confusion where, you know, one pundit says it has to be done before 12 o'clock. Another pundit says you can't pray, or, you know, somebody else will say you can pray. And it leaves such a confusion to people. People who are confused, what should they do?
Praise is something you can do anytime that you feel you can, because remember, Bhagwan is listening to you 24 hours, 7 days a week. We always say Saraswati Ma is around you all the time. Bhagwan is around you all the time. You cannot put a time and say to somebody you have to pray at 5. A lot of people, usually the most correct time is 4 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
To get up and you pray, and a lot of people do that. But if you can't, you get up at 6, you get up at 7, according to your timing that you go to sleep. Remember, the people who get up 4 a.m. in the morning are the ones who are going to sleep about 6 or 7 p.m. or maybe by 9 they're in bed. But they're used to getting up. So those of you who does night shift, you come home, you go to sleep, you get up. You can't say, oh, okay, you know what, it's afternoon, I can't pray. No, you still need to pray, because Bhagwan knows your schedule, Bhagwan knows what's happening, and God knows that you cannot do certain things at a certain times, because I believe Bhagwan created us in all different way, but we should pray. There is no excuse not to pray. Yes, certain pujas has to be done in the morning. Like, for example, some people want to do the Surya Bhagwan Dar. That has to be done the crack of dawn. Otherwise, if you get up and do it like 9 a.m. in the morning, your eyes will give you problem. You will have eye problem. So certain things has to be done in a time, but 19% of the puja part that daily you can do anytime.
During Pitri Paksh, what is the main god that people devote to?
It will be Lord Shivji. Lord Shivji will be the main devotee, but usually this time is your ancestors that you're praying for. So the main Bhagwan, it will be Lord Shivji, and then it's ancestral that you're praying for.
Okay. Well, viewers, we're learning so much information here, as we do every week with Himali Ji. If you would like to call Himali Ji in and ask a question, you can do that now for free. And you can call us here at the studio at 718-784-8555, and that's extension 108. Again, you can call Himali Ji now. It's a live call, and the number is 718-784-8555, extension 108. And if you don't want to call us live on TV and you'd like to speak to her in privacy, her number is 718-887-2929. Again, it's 718-887-2929. You can also visit her at 131-14 101 Avenue in South Richmond Hill. Now, Himali Ji, I want to talk to you about, is it too late to make your dreams come true? Meaning, if you always thought you wanted to do something, be something, is it too late?
No, I don't believe. I believe it's never too late. And now, as we know, back to school, a lot of kids have to go back to school, and a lot of complication and difficulties happening. That, do we put our kids to school? Do we let them do it at home? So all the kids are going back to school. It is not too late. It is never too late for you to achieve your dream or your goal that you always wanted to do in life.
What are your thoughts about children going back to school?
I feel if the kids doesn't have any health underlying condition, they can go back. I think they have a couple of days you go in, and most of the time you're staying. So because a lot of kids, they learn like hands-on. they prefer to learn and see a teacher there. They learn much better. Some kids do better just by themselves. Some kids do well on internet. So it's a lot of challenging and difficulties, but I feel together, if we're in this and we take, proper cohesion, we all will be able to come out and we will all do well. And I feel it's very important now that kids are at home, you are doing schooling work. I feel parents should teach them how to pray, how to meditate, how to do mantras, because there, as we were discussing earlier, Saraswati Ma puja, people tend to do one type and say, okay, Saraswati Ma, you do one time. But there are 108 types of Saraswati Ma puja. For every reason, people do different type of puja.
So what specific puja should we be doing when it comes to school?
School, it depends for different people. For example, the highest level of Saraswati Ma puja you do is Nil Saraswati Ma. That is one of the biggest, and now that will be, I will say, for kids who just going into college and they want to be engineer, they want to be doctors, they want to be lawyers. They will do the highest level of that so that they have no breaking in their education and they go. Sometimes you have kids, they get a break in their education or they change their major. So there's a combination of things and they have to see why this child is going through, do their puja. If your child is not completing the school, find out why the child is not completing school and do the puja. Don't just ignore, because most of the parents, what they do, they have so much that going on in their life that they neglect their children's life. And this is so important, parents. If you focus on your children, right now, there is very, very important time in their life. If you focus them, their life will be so much better and you will feel so much better later on in life. So we were talking a different type is some kids, they have very difficulty to speak, they have speech problem. So there is a Matangima Vidhi puja we do, and that also helps children to be able to speak faster and to learn faster and to be able to speak faster.
I mean, sometimes we see children that are geniuses, they could be 13 years old and already, a chemist or a physicist. I mean, how does something like that happen?
Well, there has to be blessed from Saraswati Ma, and also in the family. You realize sometime some family, they could pray to their Kul Devi, but the energy, like I have one family, the father is a professor, the mother is a professor, they're all professors in school, they're all PhDs and the children. So their family, they pray to Mahakaliji. But when I entered the house, I felt the energy of their home is Saraswati Ma.
You can feel energies.
Yes, you can feel the God and the Goddess. Like when you enter into somebody's house, you feel, oh my God, this house is so light, so peace. You feel the energy. If you enter into a house that has negativity, you feel the energy and say, oh God, this is so heavy, this is no good. You just want to run out. And some place you go, you feel very peaceful. And you realize when you go into a place where it's mostly prayed with music and sangeet and filled with this, you'll feel Saraswati Ma energy in that house, and you'll feel there's more artistic people in that house.
Sure. You mentioned that sometimes the parents are very busy, and in today's world, yes, most parents are working, both mom and dad are working. And, when this happens, would you recommend that the child perhaps seek a spiritual guru?
It's definitely they should, because sometimes parents cannot say certain things or do certain things or say it because the kids won't listen. If the parent says don't do this, the kids won't listen. But if there is a guru or a teacher, somebody that the kids listen, they rather hear it from somebody else and they will listen and do it better than listening to the parents. So I prefer if they have a guru and if they can have the child go to the guru every weekend or the weekend and do little sever in the temple, do little sever in the place, it will really, really change their life. They'll become more to their culture. The more they stay to their culture, the more better their life. You've seen, Lakshmi, the ones who pulled out from the culture are the ones that suffering and they get into drugs and alcohol. The one stays within their culture and the spiritualism heritage that we have as an Indian culture, it is so rich that it really, really makes a person better in their life in this world. Not only better for themselves, but better for the society too.
I mean, we have a lot of viewers that are watching that, may not be in our local area here in Queens. They may even be in a different state where maybe they don't live in an Indian community, let's say. How would they go about selecting a guru for their child?
I feel what they should do, that's very good, they should feel who they want as a guru. And they have to make one physical visit to that person. They can perhaps talk over the phone and they can perhaps, get a consultation, talk over the phone and feel that connect. You have to feel connection. Then you have to make one visit to that guru physically and you have to follow the mantra, what the guru gives you, do as accordingly, and you will build an invisible bridge between you and your guru. The guru and the student will build a bridge between them that they will be able to build their relation in that. So it is very important. We were in our countries and our parents, we had everything. Even we came in this country very young, we had a small, tight community. And we all helped each other. Now, people are afraid to help each other because we don't know who says what, who will do what. So people tend to keep a distance. So we are losing our culture a lot to this young society. We usually call them the ABCs, but they need to have this foundation, and it starts with the parents. As you know, Lakshmi, your parents put you through dance, singing, music. Now you have to put your daughter through and make sure she puts her kids through.
Of course. Of course, you want to see that your culture stay alive. And, speaking of that, I recently spoke to one of your godchildren. And right now, she lives in Florida. She is a former dancer. And she attested to how much you helped her. She told me that she lived in Florida. She lives in Florida. She heard about you. She spoke to you. And you helped her with everything through her career, her education, getting out of an abusive relationship, and everything, love, work, her living facilities. But she is a phenomenal dancer. Back when we were teenagers, we all, were part of not necessarily the same group, but a lot of the same shows. Mm-hmm. And when I spoke to her through you, because she called, because she knows I do your show, I said to her how important it is for her to uphold that culture. Now, she lives in Florida, where there are not, in her area, not that many Indians.
No.
But I told her, find a temple, because there are lots of temples in Florida, and start teaching through the temple. And then from there, branch off, because it is so important to hold on to our culture. Because for those of us who know something of our culture and something of our religion, if we don't pass it along, who will?
No, it's true. And some people do. They do go way beyond, and they do for their community and their cultures. And I'm sure she will do. She'll just have to find her calling, and she will definitely do. Find the temple that she needs to do. But you see, a lot of these temples, I do want to apologize if I offend anybody. A lot of these temples are there, and what they do, they're mostly there to make money, to raise money, and they're not there to push the communities to come in and do programs and do event and keep music, keep dance. And a lot of these temples are doing things that is not in the Hindu religion. And they're bringing in a different cultures and making it into, this is, a Hindu religion, and they are changing a lot which doesn't exist. So you have to find a very Vedic Indian culture temple that are only doing, mantras, havan, and pujas, not any other stuff. Like people go and they do, and they say, okay, they play and they do this, and they do devotion, they sacrifice and do this. Do not do these things. These are not in a part. So what happened? A lot of people are afraid to go. They saying, oh, if I go to the temples, then I have to do this devotion. A lot of them are Madrasi temples are coming up, and they have to do this. They have to do sacrifice, and a lot of people are afraid, and they are assuming that it's got to do with Hindu religion, and it is not. It is mostly Hindu religion. It's a way of living.
Way of life, yes.
It's the way of life, the way of living. It's the way you're supposed to meditate, do mantras, how you're supposed to self-discipline yourself. So it has nothing to do with what they do. So a lot of people don't know that, and they're afraid. So when I asked her, why don't you go and do? She said, Guruji, a lot of this temple, they do sacrifice and they do things. So I'm afraid to go in case I have to do something. So she stays away. So I told her, because in the Sanatan temple, that will only do, puja, mantras, teach people. So she said, okay, I will find them. If you look at the people from India, we have totally is only puja part and meditation and mantras and things we do. But unfortunately, the West Indies have opened up certain people, and even then, I don't even know how qualified they are that they do this kind of puja. So it's very, very difficult to say why we're losing a lot, because certain places, they don't keep the way they're supposed to keep the original.
Yeah. I mean, during the time that I knew this godchild of yours, we both went to the same Sanatan temple.
Sanatan temple, this is what I'm saying, you wait. But unfortunately, there are temples that do way different things, and people are afraid.
We've seen a huge uprise of the Madrasi culture and the Madrasi temples, where there are sacrifices that are happening, and I think there are a lot of people who are confused.
Yes.
There are some people who are scared. There are a lot of people who are being told, well, your ancestors did this and you have to continue this, which also causes a lot of confusion to people, because when we were growing up, there were no Madrasi temples that we knew of.
No.
And now all of a sudden there's so many.
So what they do, they said you have to do this because your ancestors did this. If you didn't, so what people saying, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do anything at all. I'm going to stay away. I'm not even going to go and practice. So they changed to Christianity. So a lot of people are also changing, which is okay. If that makes you peace and happy, and that makes you feel comfort, which is okay, you can change. But what I'm saying, this is why, and a lot of the temples are Indian temples. If you open, it has to be open 7 days a week. Yeah. So a lot of temples I know in Richmond Hill are not open 7 days a week. So there is a very difficult too, because you can't just go Saturday and Sunday fulfill everything, because a lot of people have different things they do. So in the evenings, if they keep the temples open, and Sanatan temples, and if they start doing programs, I'm sure people will be able to go in and keep the events and the culture alive.
Yeah. I mean, and speaking of that, I am going to commend and plug a certain temple that I know that is open almost 7 days a week. That's the Bhuvaneshwar Mandir.
Yes.
Acharya Arun Kasai is the spiritual leader there. He studied in India. He does mostly Vedic mantras and chanting, and he has
that
lots of young
temple. I did hear about it. Yes,
he's got lots of young little chelas learning the Pandit work, and they teach dancing and yoga and singing and.
Yeah, no, here we are okay.
Types.
People are great, but out of states they're having very difficulties because they don't know. And there are a lot of people, Lakshmi, who wants to go into spiritualism and puja part and bhakti. A lot of people there is.
We have so many temples in the tri-state area. We have about, I can safely say, I believe we have about 100 temples in the tri-state area. And that's New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. And, it's quite interesting with all of the temples that we have. The West Indian community has yet to open up one huge temple, like let's say the Ganesh temple. The Ganesh temple is a huge temple. It looks like something from India. It's open 7 days a week. There are pundits there all the time. Like you said, you can go there, bring your items, bring the names, you make an offering, make a donation, and the pundit will pray for you. But, Indo-Caribbeans have been here, I would say, from the 60s, from what I know. But yet...
Some further from that.
But yet, have not been able to establish a mandir, something like Ganesh temple. Why? We have so many smaller temples, right?
Yes.
But they're mostly just buildings, or maybe there might be two that actually have a dome, 2 or 3 that actually have a dome and look something like a temple, but nothing like something from India.
Well, I guess it's because of the space. I don't think they have enough space, in Richmond Hill. I will have to say that. But I feel somebody will definitely open if Ma blesses.
Let's take this call. Thank you for calling Himali Spiritual. Please state your name and your question for Himali Ji.
Hello?
Hi, hello.
Yes, hi. How are you? I have a question for Himali.
Okay, can you tell us your name, your date of birth, and where you were born?
Okay, Hemwadi, North. The date of birth is April 2nd, 1974, and I was born in Guyana.
1974, Hemwati?
I'm sorry?
It's 1974, correct?
1974, right.
And you're born in Guyana? Where in Guyana, Hemwati?
In Berbice, Guyana.
And what would you like to ask me?
Okay, my question is I want to find out about my love life.
What would you like to ask me about the current love life?
Okay, I would like to know, the person I'm with right now, if he's the right person.
Okay, what's his name?
I'm sorry?
Do you know his full name and his date of birth?
Well, I just met the guy, so.
Okay, so in order for her to do a proper match for you, we're going to need his correct name, like his book name, and his date of birth.
Okay,
but
all right.
You can call her if you want to get the information and call her. I can give you her office number, or you can call us back next week on Thursday. Let me give you the office number. It is.
Yeah. Okay. Seeing that I have you on the line, can I ask a different question then?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. About my career.
Okay.
Where am I going with it?
What do you do right now?
I am a business owner.
And when did you open your business?
5 years ago.
So you opened at 2015?
Yes.
Okay, don't sell, don't change. There will be this one will be okay, it will stay, but there is another business you're going to have opportunity coming up next year, March. So for business wise is good. Stay with business.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Okay, I will take the number for the office because I think I will really want to call back and ask the questions that I asked before.
Sure. Let me give you the number. It is 718.
Okay, I'm ready when you.
Okay, 718-887 2929. And you can call her tomorrow after 10 a.m. And if you're in Richmond Hill, the address is 131-14 101 Avenue. Okay? Hello? Okay, if you can still hear me, the information is on your screen also. Thank you. We may have lost her, so in case, the number is 887-2929. And again, viewers, any questions that you have, you may not want to ask it on television, but you can always call Himali Ji at 718-887-2929. You can visit her at 131-14101 Avenue in South Richmond Hill. Himali Ji, it is coming up to that time. 1 minute left. We're having such a great conversation.
I really pray to Ma, to Saraswati Ma, to Bhagavati Ma, for your children to do really, really well under the circumstances that we are in this country and around the world. I pray to Ma to bless all children and everyone. And I ask everyone, they can do Saraswati Ma mantra at home. Please have your child light a ghee diya before he or she starts their class every day in the morning, even they have at home, or if they leave for school, have them light a diya in front of Saraswati Ma and ask Ma to bless them. Ask them to ask Ma to bless them, so we can teach them, so that they will know that they have to pray to Ma, and they will get a desire in themselves what they want to do in life. With that, I pray and I thank you all for watching, and have a